So, welcome to this informational webinar on why digital citizenship and why digital citizenship now in New Mexico. I'm glad to have you here. We'll be answering questions, monitoring the chat, giving you some specifics about this rollout of digital citizenship learning and education in the state of New Mexico. I'm really happy to be here with John Chadwick with New Mexico Public Education Department. My name is Carrie with Digital Respons-Ability, and you'll hear a little bit more about what we do and what we're rolling out. But I wanted to start us off by John telling us a little bit more about what's happening.
Right. Yeah. Well, thank you, Carrie. I really appreciate this opportunity. If you could go to the next slide, please, because I'm having trouble advancing. There we go. But last year, during the 2023 legislative session, we renamed the Technology for Education Act to the Digital Equity and Education Act. And there's several requirements in there. One of them is to, for all school districts and charter schools to submit educational technology plans to PED, although those tech plans, the advisory council did settle on Future Ready as the framework. And I just want to emphasize that the technology plans are really going to be the process for developing them is very similar to what your school districts do with the education plans that are required to be submitted. And the goal is not really for us to look at it and say, yes, you did it. It's to really help the districts, help your district articulate to your community and involve your community about what you need, for your students to be successful using technology. So I really, everything is really about, keeping students at front and center. It's not about, sending something to me. It's about helping you and your school district, and involving your community. And hopefully you can go back to your, state representative or state senator and say, hey, this is what we're doing. This is what we need. This is why it's important. And, it gives you the tools to really advocate for yourself. Yeah, but one thing we do know is that, the focus is on digital equity for students. We're looking at device replacement. We're looking at professional development, internet services and IT support. The legislature is not overly generous with us this year, but what we are doing is, looking at some potential, federal funding, and we're in the early stages of it. So I really can't say much more other than we're looking at some, alternative funding streams. And we do have an educational technology fund that's non-reverting. So, and the way the statute is written, anything that we try to do statewide is going to be, opt in, you pay for it and we would reimburse the districts. And, so I have, there's several things that will be on the lookout for over the next year or two. Let's go next. And, a big thing, and this is also in, this actually just got added to, to the rule. As most of you know, there's a rule, for, school accreditation. And even though we don't have, cyber citizenship in rule as a requirement for, for your school to be accredited, we do have the definitions in there now. And the Act has defined digital citizenship as safe, ethical, responsibility. Well, I'm not going to read it. Everybody can read. You don't need me to read this. But the point is, we really are trying to give you the tools to help your teachers, help your students, and help your community. Become technologically savvy, because it really is. A lot of people are going to be new. Are new to using the internet. Families have not used the internet before, and it really is to help your teachers. It's to help your students, and it's to help your families. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and turn this back over to Carrie.
So no, and I really like the broad definition of digital citizenship that's just going beyond safety into those issues like, multiple literacies can work with a lot of sometimes the requirements around digital literacy and cybersecurity, which we know is becoming a bigger issue. So that broad definition really allows a lot of flexibility in how, and it looks at the student as a whole person, not just the safety piece, which I appreciate. So we're excited to get this going. This is a little bit more about how it came through the legislature and flowed through the different agencies there, through the New Mexico DOJ and the Community Trust and the Public Education Department. And we here with Digital Respons-Ability are very excited to be part of that process to get this out across your state. So I'm excited to introduce myself, Carrie Rogers Whitehead, and I really hope to meet some of you in person here pretty soon. We'll be talking about next steps a little bit later, but I wanted to take this chance to just tell a little bit why I'm here. We're your next door neighbors. I'm from Utah, my next door neighbors out there, and we've been working in 2016 since this space on doing a large scale state contract. So we've taught tens of thousands of students across Utah, over 200,000 hours in a classroom, and we really try to look at this holistically. Sometimes I give the analogy of, in terms of if you're learning to drive a car, yeah, you learn about stop signs and stop lights and the safety piece, but you also learn about maintaining the car, the seat belt, the other defensive driving. It's not just about safety. That's one piece. And so if we only talk about safety, that's not really preparing students to be safe and responsible digital citizens. We try to take a nuanced, balanced approach to this and really work to empower them, because our state contract covers parent education too, and scaring parents and scaring kids is not helping them learn and grow. So we really have that empowerment approach. We really will appreciate your feedback as we go through this. We adapt our program to whatever environment we have. Just a few weeks ago, I was out on the border right near New Mexico teaching on the Navajo Reservation, San Juan County. So I taught a different way when I reach those kids than if I'm going to teach somewhere else. So we have things in multiple languages. We work with different abilities, and so we're really happy to see a lot of the feedback and this approach that we've done for years and adapt it to be online, and also adapt it to teach teachers, which is what we'll be doing in the state of New Mexico. So we've taught over 12,000 educators so far, and we're really glad to reach this. So when I know that in my old job, I worked in libraries. I hated it when some administrator would tell me what to do who hadn't been in a library for 20 years. I'm like, wait. We're all teachers. When we teach this program, we've been in the field, we've talked to students, and we really want to have a practical approach to reach you where you're at. I am not behind a desk too much, even though I am right now. So we work a lot with different state agencies in different states, and we're excited to be recognized last year for Best Digital Citizenship Solution by SIA's Cody Awards. So I have a peer-reviewed process. We try to cover this topic holistically, cover it in a research base, and everything we do online is backed up by so many hours of that in-person classes. So we are in the field, we're practicing, we're your next door neighbors, and we're excited to get to know you a little bit better. So John's going to tell a little bit more. I'll talk a little bit here too about the how. So who we are, what we're doing, and then how's this going to look like. I mentioned in person, all that in person we've done has led to our teacher training. So you're going to have some options here, because we want to meet you where you're at, just like we want to meet students where they're at. So this could be a hybrid cohort where you have a leader that you meet on campus and you have discussions and you have someone to reach out to. This can be just completely asynchronous trainings. And we will be planning to go out in person to also teach champions like you, early adopters, innovators on this topic. And we're going to localize this through a train the trainer model. That's what we've done in the state of Utah. We like to use local people in other parts of the state to deliver that training, because your students and community best. This is a little bit of screenshot from the page on Canvas. I've been working with the LMS team. Tori has been really great, John. She's on it, and so is Mark, answering some tricky questions. But they're a great team, and we've got this. This is live. This is up. It's not published, but we're excited to be able to give this to you. It's packed full of resources with lesson plans, activities, videos. That we have a resource library and a research library behind everything. So you'll have our REC, our Responsible Educator Certificate Program, as a resource to help you implement this in your own schools. And a lot of parent resources too. I know that's definitely something that we need when we talk about this topic of digital citizenship. So I'll turn this a little bit more over to you, but I'll just pause. Feel free to put a question in chat about everything. I know we're sharing a lot of information, but we're really excited to be here and get this rolled out.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I just want to say though that I just want to say that we are going to be launching a web page next week that will be updated on a regular basis. We'll have links to the slides that you're seeing today. We'll have links to, Canvas Commons, so you can download and, content from Canvas Commons and use on your own LMS, whether it's Canvas or whether you're using, Google, Classroom. If I remember right, it should go into either, once you get from, Canvas, you should be able to put it into your own LMS. And so there's, so we're looking forward to that. Look for that page to go live next week, and it will have regular updates about when the virtual trainings are going to be, when the in-person training is going to be. We will be looking for locations around the state. I don't want to have just Albuquerque and Santa Fe. I'd like to have northwest corner. I saw that Robert Emerson from Farmington is up there. We could. Robert, we could work with you on having something at San Juan College. We could, I'd like to get something in the southern part of the state, Deming or Las Cruces. Of course, Albuquerque is still a central location. But I also like to see us out on the eastern side of the state. Oftentimes, Roswell and Clovis get overlooked, and I want to make sure that that they are able to participate without a lot of travel, time. So I'm really trying to, really be considerate of, not just your time, but your travel time as well. So.
And I appreciate that. I'm gonna stop the recording and open it up a little bit more for questions. So on there too. I really appreciate you all here. More is coming, and we're here to support.